Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fourth Quarter Life. My name is Holt, and today I want to tell you a little story. On Thanksgiving recently, we had people over at the house. Inevitably, we ended up wandering into the game room and looking around, and we started talking about collecting and got a lot of questions about how does one amass a collection like this, and when did you start and how did you start? And it made me start thinking about how did I start? How did my collection go from being two bins in a closet maybe 25 years ago into taking up an entire room plus a closet plus another closet plus who knows how much more room in the house? So it made me start thinking about the different ways that you go about amassing a collection. Obviously, the biggest player in all this is your budget. Your budget is going to really determine whether you are a gamer, a casual collector, or a completist, because if you have a huge budget, you can buy whatever you want. Most people, that's why you start out as a gamer, because you don't have that much money. Your gaming budget is a tiny piece of your actual life budget, like rent, food, bills, things like that. So when we're starting out as those intro collectors, and again, we still think we're just gamers, we're not collectors, and we have that budget. Somewhere in there, when you start to transition to the casual gamer, or you start to transition even more into the completist, and you start thinking, Johnny's got those games, I also want those games. And you start finding games that you want to buy. There are a few ways that you can actually start to amass a collection. And over time, these are some of the ways that I amassed my collection. One of the first ones was going to garage sales and thrift stores, because you can get a lot of games very cheap. So that's a quick way to amass a bunch of games. Sometimes you don't ever play those. Sometimes you don't even want them. Sometimes you buy those games just so that you can trade them to somebody else, something like that. And that way you can build your collection through buying and trading. Similar to that would be buying online bundles. And online bundles aren't the same as they were on eBay in 1998 when I was buying them. You could buy a bundle of 100 Atari cartridges for $10, and there would be some really good games in there. And any doubles that I would buy, I would then trade off to somebody else to get games that I did want. But that was a way that I started to amass my collection, were through yard sales, thrift stores, and online bundles. The last way, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is the clearance aisle. That's right. Everybody's friend, the clearance aisle. The clearance aisle has probably been around forever, I assume. I don't know when they started clearancing. I'm not a clearance aisle scholar, but I will say that I've got a few things here that kind of show how early this actually started. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you my 3 or 4 best clearance finds ever. Finds that over time have turned out to be awesome. And it just makes me glad that even though I was probably hesitant on that day, like, do I want to buy this? I went ahead and pulled the trigger. You'll see why later. These are probably the best clearance games I've ever found. So I have assembled quite a bit of stuff here, and I'm going to go over some of the things. You can't see it, but I'll pop in a picture here. Lots of stuff sitting in front of me. But I did kind of want to start at the early days and work my way forward. And this wasn't just games. This was any collectibles. The toys. So I have this, I wanted to show one, the Star Wars figure that I have, and I actually did get it graded because I really thought it was neat. It's the AT-AT driver with the Anakin Skywalker offer. That's pretty neat. But anyway, you can see there that this figure, sorry for the glare, this figure eventually got down to as low as 27 cents before it was clearanced. And yeah, this isn't a super expensive figure now, but it's worth a couple of $100. I think that's the value of it. But started out at $1.95, which I don't know if it started, but that was the first sticker that's on here. And then it went down to $1.37, and then finally 27 cents. I used to have a whole bunch like this, but I think this is the only one I have left. That's why I brought it out. There was something magical about seeing those pink or yellow or red stickers on toys when you'd walk into the store. You just got sucked in. I did not buy this. I did not buy this brand new. This was not. I picked this up later in life. But that would be a great story, wouldn't it? If I was the one who bought that for 27 cents. Anyway, so we're going to move on now to games. And when I mentioned the crash, I wanted to show something like this. So Atari Asteroids, great game. People say this is one of the greatest games on the Atari system. It never got old. You could play it forever. This one's been scratched out by somebody over time, but you can see that that used to say $1.99. So this game, when Asteroids first came out, I want to say it was a $34.99 retail game. I will find an old ad or something and I'll pop it in here. But $1.99 for this game was unbelievable. Even if it had been out for a year, if you didn't have it and your friend had it, $2 for this game was crazy, crazy good. But the whole point, one of the main reasons that we had a game crash was all of the, I guess we didn't have the term shovelware at the time, but there were a lot of games coming out for these systems because everybody thought it was the next big thing. So these companies were cranking out as much as they could. So you got a lot of games from a lot of companies that weren't the greatest. I've got a couple here. This is a Tapeworm by Spectravision, and you can see it started out at $19.99, went down to $4.99, and eventually the last clearance sticker there is $4. And so for $4, this is the type of thing that I would buy. As a kid, I would buy that for $4 because I didn't know what it was, so why not? I didn't know if it was a good game or bad game. We didn't have the internet. You had a few magazines, but they didn't review every single game. There were hundreds of these games, and these were the types of games that were just laying in the bins. I mean, just stacked and stacked and stacked full of bins, full in the bins. There's another one. Started out in $19.99, got down to $3.99. Clearance, right? Great. What a bargain. At $3.99, that was probably a bargain for somebody back in the day. And when we start to look at that, it wasn't just Atari, it wasn't just the mainline. These are pretty neat. These are some of my Vectrex games that have original stickers. This one says $4.99. I can guarantee you these Vectrex games were never $4.99 to start. They started out much closer to $30 and $40 because the Vectrex was a really nifty system and it was kind of a niche system. So the game started out expensive and pretty much stayed that way. So that was clearance for $4.99. The Space Wars, you can't really read it anymore. It has faded so much. The Space Wars has a little sticker on there that says $2.99. It's hard to read. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. But yeah, I believe that says $2.99. I have to get my glasses, but I think that was a $2.99. And then Star Castle, which is a grail on the system now. This was, again, on sale for $4.97. So somebody bought this game for $4.97, and this thing is arcade perfect, just about. I mean, it's 90% arcade perfect. And for someone like me with a Vectrex, $4.97 for this game, unbelievable, right? Again, these are not ones that I did not buy. I wish I would have, but I did not buy these brand new at the time. I just kind of went through my collection and I pulled out some of the games that still had stickers on them. Generally, I like to remove all my stickers, but there's something neat about the old stickers, about the stickers that, the price stickers that kind of give the history of the item. Some of those I will leave on. Some of them I take off because I don't care. All right, well, sorry about that. That sure seemed like it went into a real kind of big history lesson. Didn't mean to bore you with all that history, but now we're going to move on to what I really wanted to do, which was talk about and go through some of the things that I've collected off of the clearance sections over the years that I still have. For the most part, I only picked out games that still had the clearance stickers on them. And I'm going to kind of pop some values, but it's interesting to go back and see what the values of these games are, because when they were clearance, they were basically worth nothing, and I would buy them again because I was becoming a completist and I wanted all of them. So we're gonna just take a quick stroll down memory lane here. I've got them arranged by store. So we're gonna look at what the different clearance tags look like over the years and what games we were able to pick up. So I'm gonna start with Toys R Us because I only have one left. Toys R Us would clearance out a lot of shovelware, that's for sure. And I remember not buying a lot of the Toys R Us stuff because it wasn't very good. But a lot of them that I did buy, this is Spyborgs for the Wii. It's $5. It was originally $39.99. So I'm sure I bought this with every intention of playing it. I never played it, but there you go. Spyborgs for the Wii, $5. $5 then, who knows what it's worth now? I guess we'll find out because I may pop that in here and find out afterward. That's the only one I have from Toys R Us, because most of them, I guess, I opened. I want to move on now to Sears. And a lot of people don't realize that Sears stayed doing games all the way through. They started with their version of the Atari, the telegames and the Intellivision. And toward the end, before they went out of business, I think they're out of business. But before they went out of business, they were still selling games. And I would go into my local Sears, and sometimes I'd stumble onto something like this, where you've got some DS games. March of the Penguins, you see it was $19.99. Got it for 97 cents. My guess is it's still probably worth about 97 cents. This is the Gunpei DS game. Again, 97 cents. Does it say what it was originally? No. But 97 cents, so I picked it up. And again, I was being a completist back then. If I didn't have it, I bought it. Bubble Bobble Revolution for the DS, $1.97. Don't know how much that was originally. And here's a Harry Potter game, $4.97. They had the distinctive sticker, and Sears was really good about putting them into an actual bin, so they would all be separated from the rest of the games. You could go in and see a bin that was marked clearance. Anyway, so $4.97. Then I also got PS3 games. Here's Armored Core 4. You can see it was $19.99, which was or $19.97. Anything back then that ended in 7 at Sears was a clearance price. So that was $19.97, but they eventually lowered it to $4.97. So I got lucky. I got it for $4.97. So that's Armored Core 4, Turok PS3, $4.97. Fear, the PS3, also $4.97. I don't know what the sticker underneath it is. I wonder what the previous sticker was. And here's an Xbox 360 game, Dynasty Warriors Gundam, also for $4.97. Really do wish I could see what that sticker under there was, because that's kind of neat to see the history of the discounts. So that's everything that I got from Sears over time. I want to talk about Best Buy next. So Best Buy was interesting. Best Buy had an interesting way of putting things on clearance. I guess they didn't like the idea of putting a big bold sticker on their items. So instead what they would do is they would put a little yellow sticker on certain games. And so you kind of had to know what the little yellow Best Buy sticker meant. The little yellow Best Buy sticker usually meant this was a $5 game. So Rubik's World might still just be a $5 game. I have no idea. But you would go through, and at Best Buy, they were rarely in a separate area. They were always mixed in with the regular games. You just had to know it. You had to know in your head that the yellow sticker meant clearance, and I believe it always meant $5. That was the generic Best Buy clearance. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me down below, because I will be wrong sometimes. Here's another one, Okami. That one was originally $39.99, but I walked in, it had the yellow sticker, bing, bang, boom, $5. Web of Spider-Man for the Wii, again, is that $30, and then with the $5 sticker, so it was $5. And again, if you didn't know about the yellow sticker, you would not know that these were $5 games. Ferrari Challenge for the PS3, that was $5. And Enemy Territory Quake Wars. You'll notice, by the way, I don't usually have as many. At each store, I will have more. Like at the Sears, I only had the one 360 game, lots of PS3, lots of DS. Same thing here. I have lots of Wii, lots of PS3, only one Xbox 360 game. Next up, we are going to Walmart. I don't have a lot from old Walmart clearance. I have mostly recent stuff, but we've all seen this, the yellow sign, right? The yellow sign, $10. I don't know what the orange sticker meant on Destiny Forsaken, but it might have meant clearance too. I don't know. Maybe that was from another store for all I know. And the Lego Star Wars was $10. And the World of Simulators 4 was $10. And these are the stickers that you see today. They're on there all the time. As a matter of fact, we're going to cut right now because I'm pretty sure that I am in Walmart looking at the clearance section right now. Hey, thanks, me. Here we are. We are in Walmart. Let's take a look at what they got. Ooh, buying deodorant, by the way. 2-pack. Good deal, right? 2-packs are always good deal. Let's see what they got. Walmart. It's interesting. They also have Hogwarts, and it's not as good a deal as it was at Target, but that is for the Xbox. Yeah, this section is very blown. It's always nice to see that they got some stuff in here. Lots of Xbox. I've been seeing that a lot of the Xbox One stuff is just getting yanked off a shelf, so this is not a good sign if you're an Xbox person. All right, back to me in the room. So I discussed earlier about all the different stores that would have clearances. I stumbled on I want to say this was from is it called Five and Below or Below Five or $5 and less? But they had a few games. This is one of them that still has the sticker. Most of them I took them off, but $2.50 for Alien Isolation for the PS3. Not bad. They also had a Battlefield 4, and I want to say there was a couple of other games that I got there at the time, but I've taken the stickers off of those, so those don't count. This is the only one that counts for Five Below. I think that's the name of it. I don't know. We'll see. Target has always been my lucky charm as far as clearance goes. Target clearance, I have found stuff for so many systems over the years, and I'm going to go through some of that now. It's also interesting because it kind of goes through the evolution of the Target clearance sticker. The original, well, for me, the original Target clearance sticker was this little red one. Well, you can see there's quite a few on there. It's layered up a little bit. This is Skate 2. It's pretty cheap. I can't read that right now, but we'll put it up there later. I don't have my glasses on because I don't want to put them on. Rainbow Six Vegas. This one, same thing. Pretty cheap. Guitar Hero Smash Hits, also for the PS3. And these were kind of the ones, I actually have a few more, but I just wanted to bring a few of each that showed that original sticker. I want to say these were from the 2010 era, somewhere in there, 2010-ish, 2008 to 2010. And then they switched to the sticker that looks like this. This is Ruse, also for the PS3, but this is a later sticker. They switched to this sticker, which not only had the previous price, but they also put it on the back to block out the barcode. And then they went ahead and moved them around to the front. And that's when you start getting the stickers like this one, Aliens versus Predator, for, you know what, I'm getting my glasses because I want to know how much some of these are. For this one's $9.98 for Aliens versus Predator. Pretty good deal. At the time, especially. Duke Nukem Forever for the PS3, that's right, $3. I mean, that's great, right? $3. I don't know. A lot of people hated that game. I thought it was a pretty good game. So, $9.98 for Prince of Persia for the PS3, and of course, one Xbox 360 game, and that would be Kane and Lynch 2: Dog Days. It has the sticker on the back, but it's interesting. This one has worn off so much. I have no idea how much I paid for that. So, I would say we're going to say it was 2 cents because that makes it that much more awesome of a deal. How about that? It wasn't just the consoles, it was also the handhelds. They would do the Vita games occasionally. Of course, it's soccer, because nobody was buying all the soccer games. Sports games sold kind of slowly for a while. $8.98 for FIFA Soccer. This is the older sticker, actually. No, this is the same sticker. This is the Michael Jackson experience for the PSP. Unfortunately, somebody probably me, tried to take that sticker off and did a very poor job. But I do remember when I bought this, it was $3. So that was a $3 game. That sticker has continued in some way or form up till now, because now we jump up to the PS4. It's a lot easier to read. I don't need these anymore. It's now $5.98 for the Until Dawn, Rush for Blood. Maybe I do still need the glasses. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, $8.98, PS4. Epic Mickey 2 for the Wii, $5.98. Power of Two. About that time, they started to switch again. So the clearance area went from being a big red sign, and it went to what? That's right, the big yellow sign. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think I'm there right now. Let's go to me in Target right now. Target clearance. You never know what you're going to find at Target clearance. Got some PS5 games today. UFC 5, don't care. Hogwarts Legacy. PS4. Ooh, Prince of Persia. Skull and Bones. I already have that. Prince of Persia. $11.99. This may have to go home with me. And we're back. So with all that in mind, here's some of the ones we got with the yellow sticker. There's the Digimon story. Oh, need the glasses. That one is $8.98. Minecraft Season 2 Story Mode, $5.96. Lego Star Wars. Apparently Lego Star Wars goes on sale clearance quite a bit. Oh, that's $11.88. It was, before that, it was $15.99, but we all know that that was probably originally a $39 game. So still, even at $11, it was okay at the time. And now here's the ones that I just showed in my video. I ended up picking up a couple of these. I ended up grabbing the Hogwarts for $18.98, and I went ahead and picked up the Prince of Persia for $11.99. And that is the end of all of my Target clearance games. So all we have left now are the biggies. Okay, as you can see, had a change in the lighting because it got dark because I had a visitor come over, and now we're back to it. But anyway, what I owe you now are what I consider to be my best clearance finds ever. Now, I do have a running tally up here, so I have not checked these ahead of time. I'm guessing that these are going to be the best values percentage-wise of what I bought versus what they're worth, but who knows? Maybe I guessed it wrong. I guess we'll find out if I was right or not. So let's see if these are better than all the other ones that I have placed up in this area up here. This is, I picked up Yokai Watch, which I think is a pretty decent, valuable game for $5. Anyway, picked that up for $5. Maybe it's a good deal. I hope it's a good deal. I thought Yokai Watch was I know Yokai Watch 2 and 3 are insanely expensive, but we'll see if Yokai Watch for $5 turned out to be a bargain or not. We'll find out. This one I know is a bargain. You can see right here that this was a $3, I'm looking under, $3.06 game. And it is Kid Icarus from Target. This one I know has been valuable. During COVID, it shot up to like $150 or something. I don't know if it's still worth that much, but this one is still sealed. This game did not come in a plastic wrapper, but it does have the little, I don't know if you can see the little circular stickers. Yeah, you can kind of see them there on the two edges, circular sticker there. There you go. Anyway, I actually bought, I think 3 or 4 copies of this. I've still got 2 of them, and I bought one from both of my sons, so that's where they went. So we'll see. We'll see what the grand total of this one is, but I think that's $3. I think that's a really good return on investment right there. The next one is a game that you've heard of, I'm sure. It's Godzilla for the PS4, and this game was clearanced for $13. And like many other things, I did buy multiple copies of this. I think I bought 3 copies. I only have this one left, and it is still sealed. Unfortunately, the other ones I sold almost immediately after buying them for like $20. So I kind of wish I would have held on to them, because I'm pretty sure this is one of the grails for the PS4. So $13 right now. We will see what the new value is up here. We'll see how we did. And lastly, this one is kind of a cheat, because I've said all along that I'm only showing the stuff that still has the clearance stickers on it. Literally about a month ago, after 20 years, I took the clearance stickers off of this. And this is brand new sealed GameCube. I got it when Target was clearancing out the GameCubes. When the Wii came out, nobody wanted GameCubes. I got these for $24. And I say these because I have 2 of them. I have a black one and I have a silver one. And I remember at the time, the entire end cap at Target was full of black and silver, black and platinum GameCubes. I could have gotten as many as I wanted for $20. But at the time, nobody wanted a GameCube because you had the Wii, right? So it's in a protector now, so it keeps reflecting the camera and everything. But so this is one that it is a cheat, because I don't have the clearance sticker on here anymore. But I want to promise you that I did get this on clearance. I want to say they were $129, and then they went to $60 $60-ish, and then they went down to 30, and then I got them around 24 and change. So I want to say, for the record, I'm going to say $24.97, because it was somewhere in the 24 range. So $24.97 is what I got this for. So I'm counting it because I know that I'm not making it up. So anyway, now we're going to have some really cool graphics about the tally. We're going to talk about this, but I'm going to have to take a little break. And now I think we're going to transfer up to the other room where I do all my normal recording. And we are going to then see what the totals are, see how I did. And we're going to do a cool, awesome, nifty wrap up for this whole clearance thing now. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed that actually rather long trip down clearance lane. I didn't expect it to be that long, but it was kind of fun once I got into it, looking up all the values and adding them up and everything. That was kind of a neat thing to do, to see how the clearance section can not only increase the size of your collection, but can actually really increase the value over time. A lot of people buy the stuff from clearance today to flip tomorrow. And obviously I was in this from, as you can tell, I was always in this as a collector, not a reseller. So kind of more of a hoarder than a profit taker. But as a quick recap, I did want to do a quick review of the ones. First of all, the Yokai watch, not that great. I don't know why in my brain I thought this was this great bargain, but I picked up 5 or 6 here that are kind of the best return on what I spent. So I don't know what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So coming in at number 6, we have the Skate 2. And while it is a $72 game, used to be, you know, I bought it for $9.98. That's only about a 7x increase, 7 times increase in all the years. I think it's been about 10, 12 years since this came out. So still good, $72 for this game in a sealed condition. Next up, we had at number 5, we had the Aliens versus Predator. That's right, for the PS3. Bought it for $9.98. It's now $85. So this is about 8.5 times the value. Number 4, the Minecraft, which I was very surprised of. Cost about $6. It's $89 now. So that's about 15x. Did not know that. Didn't expect it. Who knew Minecraft sealed had value? I didn't, obviously. Another big surprise, Armored Core. Spent $4.97. It's now selling sealed, the few that I could find. There weren't many. $120. 24 times increase in value. That's pretty awesome. You'd be lucky to get that in, you know, the stock exchange. So that's a good one. In second place, Godzilla. While it was the highest number, at $350, it did cost me $14 to buy, which is a 25x return, which is almost identical to this one. So it's funny that while this one is $350, this one's $120 because I spent 3 times more on this one. They ended up being about the same return on investment, right? Both at 25x. And the big winner, I don't think anybody's surprised, when you find Kid Icarus, anything by Nintendo on a 3DS for $3, and it's currently at $150. That's a 50 times increase in value from what I bought it from. So again, $3, and now it's $150. And don't forget, the good part is that I never opened the second one. So I still have 2. So that's actually 300x. So this video was not supposed to be about the value, but it kind of became that way. It was just supposed to talk about ways to build your collection. And I'd love to know, do you build your collection through things like the clearance section at the store? I hit the clearance section every time I go to a store. I go in and I look for that clearance section. I look for the yellow bars and I try to see if there's anything that I want. Not as much these days, but that's how I built my collection. Years and years and years. Most of these PS3 games are 15 years old, I think, around 2010-ish, 2010 to 2012. So it's a pretty old collection. So anyway, love to hear from you. Love to get into a conversation about clearance and thrift stores and how do you build your collection. I'm exhausted. This was a very long video. I was up all night editing. Lastly, I did want to say that the games that I pulled out, the ones that I showed you, are just examples in the collection. So many, probably, I would say I've hundreds of games in my collection came through clearance, but most of them I took the stickers off. That's why I chose these, because they still represented the value because of the stickers. Literally hundreds and hundreds of games in my collection, which is around 4,000 games right now, because I've sold a couple of thousand off in the last few years. So literally hundreds of those games were clearance games. And many of them I've played. Many of them are still sealed on the wall, and they hope to be played someday. So I hope to return being a gamer someday. Right now, I'm still kind of a collector. But talk to me. Let's talk about clearance. Let's talk about how you build your collection. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it enough to drop a like. If you've hung on this long, please drop a like. Geez, you must like something in here. Maybe drop a follow. That would be awesome. Everything that you do is appreciated. Every comment is appreciated, and I try to answer every single one. for each and every one of you guys. Have a great day. Be good to each other. Have a great holiday season, because when I'm recording this, it's the holidays to 2025. So have a great holiday season. Talk to you soon. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.